What's up, guys? My name is Manny. I have with me Andrison. Welcome to Reform Nerd, where we find Jesus in everything, especially anime. And today we have a special topic for you guys.
Is it really that special, Manny?
It's special. It's special because it's not happening within churches, and it should be. And that's part of the problem, guys. Today, look, a lot of the examples that we're going to have today, they're going to come from One Piece because that's currently what I'm trying to catch up on.
Man.
So I'm trying to inspire Andre some too. You haven't even started. You can't give up on something that you haven't even started.
I know.
So today I want to introduce to you guys this character in One Piece called Law. Now, specifically what I want to talk about is his childhood. If you guys can see here, this kid is strapped with bombs.
Oh, homeboy is
all right,
straight armed up, man.
Yo, One Piece is the best. How dare you, woman?
See? I mean,
Mike, I'm trying, bro. I am trying. It's very tough. Look, Dressrosa, I put a video out just letting
Thank you for saying that right.
Yeah, letting everybody know how many flashbacks there are. It's just like, I don't know, man. Like, I think One Piece does a good job with the storytelling, but sometimes the anime just overdoes it. Although I've heard that the manga is a lot better when it comes to the pacing.
Dude, everything is better on the manga side.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like the animation for the fights, for the most part, is better in anime than it is reading it in a manga.
I mean, always, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, think about like reading Super Saiyan and then Super Saiyan in the anime. Like, come on, there's like no comparison, bro.
I'm just saying, man. You had Super Saiyan in what, like 83, and then you didn't get the cartoon until like 87.
Right, but I'm just saying that the anime compared to the manga, like, it's just gonna be way better.
Absolutely.
All right, so this guy Law, we find out that he's pretty much like, as a kid, I think he might be like 12, 13. He's somewhat suicidal, if you will. So what happens to him is that he's from this city that gets infected with this disease that comes from this white substance that they were mining, which actually made them like super wealthy, but at the same time it sickened the citizens. So to the point where after one or two generations later, the kids started dying sooner. So he at this time only has 3 years to live. And he comes from a city where they almost got treated like lepers. I'm actually going to do a different video on it talking about this. But basically, no one wanted to touch them. Nobody wanted to interact with them because they thought that they were going to get it.
Yeah, they were going to contract the disease.
Exactly. So this cat, when we meet him at this age, he has nothing to live for. Right?
How old is he now?
He's like 13 or so. He's fairly young. So we get introduced to him because he wants to join this crew of bad guys because he just wants to
live life.
He just wants to destroy the world, basically, because you know all the other nations came into this country and basically said, let's get rid of everybody. So he saw his mother die, his sister died from the disease, so he's been persecuted on top of being sick.
Exactly.
So this kid has nothing to live for until we meet this guy, Corazone.
I'm about to say, he definitely just like moving letters around.
So what happens is that this guy is part of the evil crew, but he's actually incognito. He's a good guy. Long story short here is that through time, this man like shows care for Law. He starts taking care of him. He actually takes him on a journey to try to cure his disease, like going to different doctors. Okay. Seeing if they could help him, and everywhere that they went, the doctors would like fear because they look pale, so you know that they have like the disease, and every single one they have to like run away because they call the police and they're trying to catch them. But in this whole journey, this kid, somebody that grew up feeling like he wasn't wanted, that he was hated, feels loved because of this one guy that chose to show him some care, take him under his wing, and mentor him. So then this leads into a bigger story, which we're not going to get into. Yeah. But this leads us to the topic at hand: is that the difference that a relationship can do in someone's life, especially a mentor to mentee relationship, how that can change your future if somebody were to cultivate, different relationships amongst people that are coming up, especially within the church.
Yeah.
So that is what we're going to be talking about, guys. The lack of not only leadership, but also mentorship within the church. And I think that it has led to a lot of baby Christians that have been around for 5-10 plus years. I think that even in this channel, we've talked about teaching, but I don't think we've really made a focus on mentorship. And to be honest, Jesus is like the prime example of this, if you will.
12 dudes underneath him. I mean, but I guess it's like, right, when I think about mentorship, right, and like with Jesus, what does mentorship actually look like? Not in the sense of the person that's going to be doing the mentoring, but what does it mean to be mentored? I feel like we put a big focus on, well, you need to go mentor somebody, but like, what does it mean to actually receive that mentorship, and what entails from it?
Well, to be honest, I don't think it's not that deep. I feel like a lot of these things, we overcomplicate them. Like the way that we see Jesus mentoring, outside of him, like, being Jesus, he literally just lived with these guys. And as situations came up, they learned from him. They learned how to teach. They learned how to go out and be fishermen of men. Like that was the piece. The difference between me teaching you a lesson and me being your mentor is that we are living this life together sometimes it's an extended period of time, sometimes it's a short period of time, but the fact that we are now interacting at a level where we're experiencing similar things and I'm teaching you about them.
But I feel like that's where the difficulty is, right? Like being able to say like, hey, yo, like I messed up. Like that's really the whole point of within the mentorship program. No matter how long the time frame is going to be, it's more of the fact of the mentor being willing to have these difficult conversations and see the things that come up, but also the mentee willing to say like, yo, this is what I think. Is this right? Is this wrong? Right? Like I guess what I'm trying to really
let's focus on the mentor piece first. The mentee piece, I actually have something that I want to share a little bit later on.
Look at you being already.
Well, we gotta let's take it step by step, because if not, then we're gonna mix the two. But mentors, there's a lack of mentor, and I think you mentioned one thing that I think is worth talking about.
Yeah,
mentors being willing.
Yes.
Right. I think that, especially in the context of the U.S., we're always busy. We're always doing too much. We don't have time to dedicate 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour to somebody. And the question is, why is that? If the prime example that we have in the Bible, the person that we're supposed to be following, someone took people under their wing and lived life with them, why is it that we're not doing the same?
Well, because we don't want to do the harder work, man.
Why isn't a TD Jakes doing that? Your boy.
That's not my boy. I mean, again, we hope and pray for the brother, but I don't know. No, I think it's more of the fact of, in a society, this is how we live with everything. We want everything the easy way. We want to be there throughout the wins, but we don't want to necessarily give up time. Like when Jesus calls us to sacrifice, what is it that people normally think about? Money. What's the easiest thing to sacrifice sometimes? It is money. Sometimes it's easier to say, here's $100, here's $50, here's $5, here's $1, compared to here's an hour out of my time where I could be playing video games, or I could be watching Netflix, or I could be chilling with my wife, or my boyfriend, my girlfriend. That sometimes is more expensive.
Hey, careful on the chilling, bro. There better be
no
Netflix.
No Netflix. But I'm saying, like, that's more expensive to give up time than it is to give a couple bucks.
Well, you can always make more money. You can't always make more time.
No.
Well, you can't make more time, actually. But that's the key of it all. I think that we're unwilling to stray from our day-to-day to dedicate that time, and that's the only way to be able to mentor somebody. Like, you have to dedicate time to this person to make sure that they're coming up. In fact, the best way for you to learn is to learn from somebody. And by the way, this is how it's been for generations. It's not only until recently, 100, 150 years where that hasn't happened. You have your college and your stuff. But before that, people did mentorships, really. Like, let me go study underneath this carpenter. Or let me go study underneath this painter. and you had like 4 years, if not more, where you were just studying underneath this one master. Think about how much more you would learn in the context of, like, let's say, for example, college versus you living with your mentor for 4 years in and out doing this one thing. Think about how much of a master you would become, and apply this now to the word of God, or you discipling somebody.
It's very different when you're looking at something maybe like an hour a day compared to living, breathing, doing it. Like it's a night and day difference. It really is. Like even in the industry that I came out of, going from the automotive to marketing, like in the automotive section, to get good is just to be in the trenches 24/7, repair as much as you can, mess up, get good at it, and then that's really like where the money starts.
Yeah,
coming
like
out of.
mechanics do that, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah, like to be a good technician, like you just have to really mess up a lot, but do a lot of the same things over and over and over and over again until you really like get the thing down. Like I know guys that can do jobs in a short span of hours that would normally take anybody else a week to do.
Thanks, I meant apprenticeship. That's
Yep.
right.